talk about money. And today I'm with a very special guest, Coach Ruba. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, Tari.
So today we're going to be talking about financial dating. Do you know that word exists? Like when you have your dads, like kind of dads, you have to be talking about finances. So I just invited my sister because I want to know, like with young girls, when you're dating, do you have time to talk about money with your boyfriends, to understand the financials of your boyfriend, the debt, and understanding your money personalities? Because we find that many people, when they get married, many people are divorcing, and the main reason many people are divorcing, like I can say 70% of many divorces, it's because of financial issues, financial problems. Yeah, Ruba, tell me, with your men, do you get time to talk about money?
Yeah, yes, we do. Because I feel like talking about money, like how you mentioned it, actually contributes to the greater part of many relationships nowadays. Not like when we get to talk it, I would love to understand how he handles like his finances, and also he has to know how I handle my finances, especially now that we are actually planning to settle together, because we can't settle without knowing each other's money personality, as you mentioned. So yeah, we get time to talk about it, how much you have worked, like what you're doing to get the money from, because at the end of the day, like I've seen many young people, they fall in love for the bag actually. Then they don't even know where the bag is coming from. They may be fast forward a few years down the line, the boyfriend gets broke, and yeah, the woman then just walks away because she was in need for the bag, though she never knew how the bag was secured. So I'm sure, like for me, it has been one of the things that I've done, even in other relationships that I have had that failed. I would want to know where the person is getting the money from and where they are putting their money into, so that I know even when they ask me where I get my money from, I can actually list, okay, these are my sources of income, so that we can come together and put our finances together as a couple. Because I always feel like, when you're in a relationship, you're a team. So whatever that you do, there needs to be some teamwork. I bring my input, he brings his. Like, it's not about me wanting to know what he earns only, but he also has to know, so that we both know that we are contributing something into our affair.
Well, thank you so much, Ruba. And you know what, as we're talking, you also put something which I actually like want to advise my young sisters out there. Like, don't fall in love with someone just because of the money they have. You need to understand where that money is coming from. Don't be surprised when you get married that maybe the person you're dating is actually a thug or a robber. Right? We need to really understand where the money is coming from, and that's why it's very important to understand, to have those money conversations. As Ruba is saying, that your first thing is to ask, where does your money really come from? Are you going to work? What is it that you're doing? We need to understand, and we need to feel comfortable in asking those questions. So tell me, Ruba, when you started having those conversations, how was it? How did your men take it?
Okay, so to just say it, like, okay, for someone who's been in there a couple of relationships, at times when I've heard the relationship, when you would start that conversation, you'd get those comments like, you're too fast, that kind of a thing. But with the man that I'm in a relationship with right now, when I started talking about that, he was really open enough. Like, he didn't give me those things like you're too fast. He actually, applauded me for that thing. Like, he actually commented that I'm a wise woman for asking such things, because he also had an opportunity to also ask me what I do, and also confirmed, okay, fine, this is what I was also looking for, someone who can also assist me achieving my dreams, not the other woman who just come, for different reasons, or they just want the man, and they don't even want to contribute to the growth of the next person. So I think at times, like, it depends with who you are, because some people are not like really comfortable. Like, money issues come with a lot of things. Like I mentioned in my first comment that, it is like a lot of men actually feel like, they are mixed emotions over these money issues, because a lot of girls are after, the boys' money. So when it comes to that, sitting down with someone and asking him, what do you do, where does your money come from, the first thing that comes in their mind is like, oh, okay, she's a gold digger. She wants to know where my money comes from so that she can dig from me, that kind of thing. But I remember, like, my boyfriend actually telling me, you know what, I was looking for a lady who is a gold digger, not a gold digger. So, that actually made more sense to me. And he was really free to tell me, okay, this is where my money comes from, this is how I get it, and these are my plans, So actually felt part of the relationship other than the other relationships when I would be told that, you're too fast because you're asking about my money, or you just want to spend my money, that kind of thing.
But what you mentioned there, it's also something I want to remind my young brothers out there, that when a lady asks you about finances, it doesn't mean that they are too fast or they are gold diggers or anything, because we need to normalize talking about money. It's very important to talk about finances and talk about money. We need to let go of the taboo that we perceive that money is a taboo. We need to normalize having money conversations. So next time, my dear brothers, please, when a lady asks you about your finances, are you in debt? How much are you really getting? Don't think that lady is too fast. She's not too fast, but she's thinking of the future you're going to be having together, because it's not really a nice thing that you've been dating maybe for 5 years, then after you get married, that's when you find that your other person is actually bankrupt or they're actually blacklisted. That would be too late to start like talking about it. Why didn't you talk about it when we're actually in your dating phase? So my next question, Ruba, is okay. So you mentioned that with your man you're currently dating, that he's actually free with that, and you also mentioned that you're a gold digger. I love that word, gold digger. Gold, yeah, digging the goals. Let's move into that. So did you get deeper into did you get deeper in your financial conversation of actually discussing like, okay, when you get married, how are you going to be like splitting the bills, splitting the expenses? We know we have black taxes, and as black people, that's a normal thing. Did you get deeper into discussing those things, like how are you going to be managing your finances? Are you going to be having a joint account, separate accounts, or
Okay, so how we discussed on that when we said we would, like, since we are a team, because that's what we always encourage each other, that whatever that we do, we are a team. So we agreed that we can have sort of a joint account. I bring in my income, he brings his. Then we actually have a budget set for both of us. So if he has black text on his end, I have black text on my end. We actually see how much we will contribute to our families and how much is there for our family, because he has his kids, I already have a kid. So already before we settle, we already have 3 kids. So we want to see how best we can have these kids having something. And of course, when settling, we're also looking to maybe having another kid together. So already we have like a bigger family and all. So we've also put that into consideration, that already their kids, they're already going to school. We need to put that into our plan. So we have actually talked about it. So we have said, okay, whatever that you do and whatever that I do, we put the money together, then we direct it wherever that it wants to go. And we need to set investments even for the future of these kids, because we need to take care of them until up to university, in as much as we are also going to be encouraging them to start their own things at a younger age. So that's how we have decided to, it's not about like, I'm not going to be that woman who says, you know what, my money is my money and yours is ours. Like, I have heard that so many times, that like even in my girl circles, when we talk, we'll be like, no, he is the one we're supposed to provide. When I work, it has to be my money. I have the hair that needs to be maintained, the nails, the whatever. So I don't care about where he gets all the money. But for me, I'm like, you know what, a relationship is a two-sided thing. It's not a one-way street. So he brings his contribution, I bring my contribution too, then we put it on the table, then we make our plans accordingly to what we have, and we know that our kids will have a good future, because we are a team and we are working as a team, and our finances are not, we are not selfish about what we earn, because at the end of the day, his growth is also my growth. But if I'm going to make him to be the one who provides for everything, then I do what I want with my money, then it's not going to work. Because usually, when you combine the finances together, it becomes more. Other than him saying maybe he earns 10,000 rand, then we say we are going to have with our family, maybe our 4 kids, we put them there. It's not going to be enough. But say I also earn my 5,000, or I earn my 20,000, and we put it together, it's 30,000. Then we divide wherever it goes according to how we set our budget. Because at the end of the day, we'll like, okay, we have had a discussion together. No matter who earns what, we are a team. We are going to use it jointly. You bring your part, I bring my part. I think the only part maybe that I will not assist is the bride price is going to give my parents. yeah, that is his own thing. I'm not going to marry myself. Yeah. So yeah, for my sisters out there, of course, you don't need to marry yourself, but at least help each other. Like, there's nothing wrong even with helping him, boost whatever he's doing so that he just gets that bride price to your parents. But of course, yeah, the thing, like I mentioned, I will not give him like from my money right now. At this point in time as boyfriend and girlfriend, we don't have a joint account yet. But those, like you mentioned, when we get married, that's how we are going to be dealing with our funds. At this point in time, like where we are, we just talk about it. I'm not like, okay, I trust him enough even with just sharing how much I earn at work or how much I earn at my other side hustles. And he also shares with me how much he earns. So that's where we are right now. But when we get to be married, we will use the joint account thing.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Coach Luba. And to those who are listening, you had it. And please remember that it's very important that we need to normalize having money conversations before we get into marriage. Like on our dating, courtship phase, let's understand how we're going to be splitting the bills. It should not come as a surprise that now you're fighting that you want to send money to your family, I want to send money to my family. It should not be like that. We need to have an agreement before you even get married. If it doesn't work and if you don't agree before you even get married, rather leave it there. Because when you get married, that's still gonna affect your marriage. Who are already married, and to those who are not already married, if you haven't started like having your financial debts, it's very important to have financial debts. So financial debts, this is actually where you go out with your men. It doesn't really mean like go to a restaurant or whatever it is. Either in your house, you can just set time, maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour, where you're actually sitting down and you're talking about your finances. You're just talking about your money. Like, okay, next month, this is how much we're going to be going, this is how much we're going to be getting, this is our expenses, and this is what we're thinking that we're going to be budgeting for, and this is how much we're going to be putting on our savings, on our investments. It's very important to set time aside for that, to talk about just money and just understand what it is that you want to do with your money. Because the moment when you don't talk about your money, that's when you start finding like issues rising up and coming up. So we are already married, and to those who are not already married, if you haven't started like having your financial debts, it's very important to have financial debts. So financial debts, this is actually where you go out with your men. It doesn't really mean like go to a restaurant or whatever it is. Either in your house, you can just set time, maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour, where you're actually sitting down and you're talking about your finances. You're just talking about your money. Like, okay, next month, this is how much we're going to be going, this is how much we're going to be getting, this is our expenses, and this is what we're thinking that we're going to be budgeting for, and this is how much we're going to be putting on our savings, on our investments. It's very important to set time aside for that, to talk about just money and just understand what it is that you want to do with your money. Because the moment when you don't talk about your money, that's when you start finding like issues rising up and coming up. So let's normalize having financial debts. It's not too late, even when you're married and you never did this financial debt. Maybe you've been married for 10 years, 20 years. It's not too late to start now. There's always a start. Start now and let's see the change. And free to share in the comment section if you have financial debts and what you feel about them. Are they helping you, or what's really is happening? So please feel free to share in the comment section. And also remember that we also do couples financial literacy. We do this to couples who are in courtship, in dating, or in marriage. If you feel that you don't even know where to start this financial dating, we are here to help you to start having those conversations. Because always remember, money matters, and be in charge of it. Thank you. Till meet again.